Listen, no matter how many products you have or how many discount offers you're offering, a stranger will skip you like the first slice of bread in a loaf because they see you as a generic store. They see you as a copycat. Because the reality of the situation is, if you continue to blend in with your competition, your audience will see you as just another one of those 1,000 e-commerce businesses who are chasing their money. As an e-commerce owner, I'm sure your goal is to build something generational. You want to look at your business and be like, hey, I was the one who was able to build that. That is part of my hard work. But you keep mimicking your competition's ads. You keep mimicking your competition's product offerings, their marketing strategies, their branding. And you wonder why it becomes increasingly harder to convert your own traffic or even get traffic to your store in the first place. Because the truth is, strangers see the exact same approaches every single second of every single day. And sooner or later, your brand will be of zero significance to your target audience if you carry on like this. Now, let's put ourselves in that scenario, right? Your target audience won't feel any significance from you. That statement itself is just one that should be crushing. Now, in this scenario, when your target audience sees your business, they won't have the urge to purchase from you. They won't have the urge to interact with your business, right? Because they see you as one of those other businesses who are still chasing their money. Now, look at it like this. If the people you're trying to sell into, the people who are supposed to be convinced of your solution, don't even want what you're selling because they see you as a copycat in the market, how are you going to make sales? How are you going to grow your business? How are you going to get to that next level? Well, there is a solution to this, ladies and gentlemen. And the solution is be different. That way you can remove that copycat status that you're carrying on the back of your business. Now, I want you to prepare yourself and get ready to steal these exact methods in this video so you can use them yourself and be able to get ahead of the competition, let the competition chase you, and stop being a commodity. Now, this is just a small program that I put together with the Upskill Digital team because I believe that it can be able to help you guys get ahead of the market, let the competition chase you and not you chasing others. Now, the goal of this program is to transform your e-commerce business so the customer starts treating you as the first option. Now, let's jump right into the program and see exactly how we can win in the market. Now, differentiating yourself in this market all starts with the most important factor in which basically all your systems are supposed to be tailored to. This is the customer in the e-commerce world and the building blocks of building the relationship between you and the customer, right? Now, let me show you exactly how we would look at it through the Upskill Digital eye, which is more the agency eye. Now, your first step is to represent the problem. Now, this is something that should be undeniably known by you, and your goal is to make sure that you make the customer realize the significance of the problem with their whole heart. They need to see that, okay, this problem is stopping me from getting to this end goal, and without solving this problem, I can't get anywhere. So, for example, you're not getting X because of Y, and the reality is that without Y, you can't attain Z. Z being the ideal scenario. We represent the problem as raw as it can be to show exactly how critical the problem is and that it has to be sorted out in order to gain progress. That's how you win over the psychological part of the customer. Now, the key is to show that the solution has already been there. It's already existed. You know how to implement that solution and it's within your possession. Now, you're probably thinking that what I'm telling you right now is the end sales process of a B2B, which is something I want you to realize because the approach of selling a product to a customer in e-commerce should be no different to how a B2B business would sell to another B2B business. This way being that you highlight the pain point of the customer, you show them that you've made a tailored solution that's personalized for them specifically. In this case, the solution being your e-commerce product, and that the product is built for them and it's appealing to them only because you're not trying to appeal to the whole market. You're trying to appeal to them. Once you introduce the personalization factor, the emotional factor, the customer will purchase from you rather than the next door who's selling the exact same thing as you. Because once you introduce the emotional factor, you've won over the customer's mind. Now, the customer's mind is what controls what they spend their money on and how they spend it. Create that relationship between the customer and your brand. That's the first fundamental step to being different in this market. Now, I want you to put that e-commerce hat back on. Your product is the solution, right? Now, portray it to your ideal customer with the personalized edge towards it. Make them realize that you've made this product specifically for them. Now, how do you do that in the e-commerce world? You do this through three things, guys. You do this through your branding, your social proof, and your email marketing. This is how you're going to win that sales conversation in the e-commerce world. These three things are so important in the e-commerce world when you're trying to build that relationship between the customer and your brand. Now, let's start with dissecting social proof first. Now, social proof is just one of those undeniable things you need to have in your e-commerce business. Because in the e-commerce world, your product is sold through other people. A prime example of this is how a stranger or your target audience sees someone who's going through the exact situation they're going through, and they bought your product and are able to get out of that situation successfully. Now that person is going to think to themselves, okay, that product works. Let me go to them. Let me trust them. Let me spend my money on them and get that product. Now, if you don't have any social proof, the sales conversation becomes one where you have to convince strongly. And that's when having good email marketing, good branding is going to be able to help you with that sale. So let's just do a quick recap so you can get the gist of the approach you're supposed to be using now. So the first thing is you view the relationship between the product and the customer like a B2B sale. You show the problem in which they are currently going through or exactly how bad the situation is without your product. Show them that your product is the solution. You've had the solution in your hands and it's already existed. And you need to show that the solution is meant for them personally. Now, the only way you can achieve these goals is to differentiate yourself by creating a relationship between your brand and the customer. That is where your branding and email marketing are going to help you with. So now we've got the core basics. Now we can get into more nitty-gritty. Now, before you start crafting out a way to expand your personalization or how you're going to build your brand or how you're going to differentiate yourself in the market, you need to first identify the things that are keeping you a commodity, the things that are making you carry that copycat status on your back, right? Because you can't move forward if you're still carrying the same loads from the past. You can't move and gain any progress if you're still doing the things that are not making you gain any progress. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to identify the things that are not helping your business at all. Now, the first thing you need to get rid of is those generic product offerings. You've seen them all the time, and the dopamine hit that they used to get from seeing them is now gone. Everyone in your niche is doing the exact same product offering. You doing the same thing is not giving the customer a reason to choose you over the next person. And guess what? This is where the business that is able to create a relationship between themselves and the customer is going to win the sale over you every single day. So the second thing you need to drop is stop running hectic discounts and offers all the time in your business. Now, this is just going to hurt your LTV big time. When you do this, you're basically training the customer to purchase from you only when you have deals or discounts. Now, that just positions your brand as something that's very cheap and less valuable. You have to do value-added offers like exclusive bundles that emphasize the quality and rather the benefits of your business than just providing discounts all the time. The third thing you need to change up is your copy across all your business functions. I'm talking your emails, I'm talking your website, I'm talking your ads. Because using vague, exaggerated language that doesn't reflect your brand or doesn't have any emotional attachment to it is not working right now. The fourth thing you need to cut out is over-explaining your product features. Because if your copy is not telling the customer how the product can improve their lives or make their lives easier, then you're just losing out on sales. Now it's just making you look like a business that's just after the customer's money and not even the happiness of the customer. The fifth thing you need to sort out is having a website that's not tailored to your ideal customer, having slow shipping, poor customer service. All these things just overshadow the good in your business. A mediocre customer experience will always pull you down. The sixth thing you need to cut off is solely relying on ads. Because these things come and go like trends and they depend on platforms like Facebook, Google, and Instagram. Now, you tell me, what's going to happen if these platforms ban you? Is that the end of your business? Is that the end of your marketing? It's quite the hassle to get yourself back onto these platforms after you've been banned. So just do yourself a favor and stop relying on ads only and start building other channels to get customers. Another thing you need to stop relying on is having the same product lineup, the same strategies year after year. All these things just get outdated and your ideal customer will end up choosing the next business over you. And the last thing you need to take into consideration is that you mustn't appeal to everyone. Only the right people need to buy your products. Now, once you sort all these different factors out, you can start making your moves to growing your business. But you need to first understand this. It will be difficult to be different. The market is saturated no matter what deeper niche you're in e-commerce. Chances are someone is selling the exact same thing or something similar to what you're selling. And platforms like Shopify, Amazon, and Etsy are just making it easier for you to open up a store, which is just increasing the competition like crazy. Another barrier is that customers are seeing products as just interchangeable nowadays, especially if you're in niches like fashion, tech accessories, or supplements. And another problem is many of our world suppliers like Alibaba are starting to create products that are of very good quality, like our branded options, which just makes the competition boil down to whoever's got the better price, whichever price is convenient. And that's just going to harm your profit margins. Now we've come to that point in the video where I have to leave you with something to win. Now, in order to get that X factor of being different, you're going to have to look through the deep roots of your business. And what I mean by that is that you need to start by doubling down on your niche. Now, what do I mean by doubling down on your niche? Remember, you're not trying to sell to the whole world. You're trying to sell to the right people. The people who are in need of your product, even though they might even not know it yet. So the key here is to make your target audience smaller. That way, it's just going to be so much easier for you to approach them in a more personalized manner. And that's just going to help with you building a community of people who are going to be loyal to your brand. Because let's look at it like this. Once the target to hit is much smaller, your attempts at the bullseye are just going to be more accurate. Therefore, just make your target audience much smaller. Make it concentrated with people who actually want to buy your product. So your marketing attempts are just going to hit the right spot. Now, in order to really niche down, you're going to have to find who benefits the most from your product. The good thing is that there is a way to figure this out. It's normally the people who are going to leave the reviews, the people who follow you on most of your socials, and those who are not one-time buyers. Now, you're going to have to look really deeply and analyze your data properly, analyze all your metrics and your KPIs to find those specific people. You find their commonalities between them, and that right there is going to be your ideal fit for your product. And then from there, you're going to have to experiment with your messaging and your different approaches to copy to see what gets you the best results and what resonates most with your audience. Because you've put in hard work to make your audience smaller, which is a good thing because now your targeting is just going to be much more easier. Once you find that winning message or that winning approach to your copy from segmenting a small part of that smaller audience, chances are you won't need to change much or even change anything at all for it to work for the rest of that smaller audience of yours. Because all of those guys have similar characteristics. They're all here because they want to benefit from your product and they know they need it. So that's just something to think about when you start niching down. The next thing you have to do is spend money on community and engagement building. Now, I can't stress this one enough. The good thing about having a community is that you can turn those loyal customers into brand advocates. Now, some insight on community and engagement building is that you can use things like loyalty programs where customers can earn points for engaging with your brand and not just purchases. You can host events, webinars, or online communities where these people can share their interests, and that gives you a bit of insight on how you can improve your brand and change things up just to accommodate for those other interests of those people. You need to change up your marketing and stop using conventional advertising because your audience is kind of sick and tired of it, and you continuing to do it is not helping anyone. Change up the angles, use different approaches, use humor, use current events, just be different. Another thing is that you need to focus on your customer experience because that's always number one. You need to follow up on your customer satisfaction, right? And use different things to ensure that the experience is the best. And the last step to differentiating yourself in the market is your data. Now, you need to analyze your data in order to gain progress because data drives innovation. There are too many businesses who are neglecting this side of their business, and this is why they actually can't differentiate themselves from the market. Execute, analyze, learn, and execute. Now, I think it's only fair that I not only give you the methods on how to solve it, but show you brands that have actually cracked the code themselves. Now, as far as that goes, here are a few brands that we can actually look at. Now, the first one we're going to look at is this oat milk based brand. Now, they redefined the approach of making milk. They refined plant-based milk with a quirky branding and transparent approach with bold advertising. Now, the second one we can look at is the All Bird shoe. Now, these guys did a spectacular job. They focused on sustainability and simplicity, turning a wool sneaker into a lifestyle symbol. Their approach was, let's make a shoe that's going to be very popular in the market, fashionably wise, and still be able to save the environment. That's what made them different. Another brand is Liquid Death, which is a water brand. Now, their approach was to make water exciting by branding it in an edgy energy drink Coke bottle. So now people think that it's an energy drink and are more enticed to drink it. And the last one, which has really blown up in the recent years, is Prime. Now, that's an energy drink attached to two influencers who have built a relationship with their target audience over multiple years. They've partnered with other franchises in which their target market, in other words, the new generation, resonate with deeply. Now, that's something not every energy drink is doing. They decided to attach both their names to a great product, hence why they are so successful.
As you can see, these are the brands who have found the art of differentiating themselves and have created their own lane where they can scale at whatever speed they desire. So, key tip, build yourself a business that not only serves others but serves you.